Oh,
And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the
hello.
live for the Demigod Files by Rick Riordan. I'm just quickly going to tweet and share that we are live.
We are the counselors. Yes, I'm wearing this shirt again. I will be wearing this shirt in every single Percy Jackson related live show that we do because it's the only piece of Percy Jackson merch that I actually own. So at the moment, I plan on buying more. Yeah.
There.
Oh, you know what? I also need to pull up. I need to pull up the rest of the books for this year too, because where the fuck is my Notion?
We only have 4 books for the rest of this year.
Yeah, well, I still need to make sure that I can pull them out. Up, out.
English isn't our forte today.
No.
I had the list of things.
What do you mean list of things?
The list of talking points, and I've already lost the freaking
Damn it, Hope!
note. There we go.
What?
What is it? Hey, is it really one of these live shows if I don't need to look at my phone and go, "Where's the list?"
True.
Because I always do that because it always just ends up halfway down my 18 million notes. So
Yeah. I was like, how the fuck do I make something like a check mark box?
no idea. Hello, cool gamer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Ew.
Once Morgan finds the list.
I have the list.
Oh, okay. You found the list.
Yeah, I just needed to pull up my Notion for after the live. But
as I already said, we will be talking about the Demigod Files, which is a bonus content, although I would say it should be read as a main thing, because there's definitely some interesting things that happen.
There's so many interesting things. Also, Hope, you need to put up the spoiler banner.
And I will do that. I need to find it. No spoilers for future books, so that means nothing past this book.
It's going to be hard to talk about this book, though, without spoiling future books. So we'll figure out how that's going to...
We're just going to have to say things of, excited to see how blank plays out, or excited to...
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So,
we will try our best not to spoil anything, and if somebody in the comments happens to notice that we spoiled something, proceed to just yell at us in the comments.
Yeah. Okay, so first...
So we're just going to go just in order based on the table of contents in the front of the book, which I am always so grateful that there's this.
Oh, we're not doing our normal list?
Well, yes, but we're going to for talking about things.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
So
the plan changed, it freaked me out.
Okay, I'm sorry, but you get what I'm saying is for each, because there's obviously the 3 short stories.
Yes.
You wouldn't want to talk about them all at the same time.
Yeah.
Treat each short story as its own little little book.
I get it now.
So we will go to the explanation of this book is it's
Do you want me to explain it?
Yeah. But
so the Demigod Files is the first bonus book in the Riordan series. In this particular bonus book, we get 3 novellas / short stories. We get interviews with some of the more prominent characters that are either more prominent as of now in the series, or they will be important in especially the final book. We also have interviews with the characters. There's also a fun little map of Camp Half-Blood, what Annabeth packs in her trunk going to Camp Half-Blood, And then there are some puzzles and some information on 12 of the Olympian gods. And then
technically it's 14 gods because it's 12 Olympian gods plus 2.
Yeah. And then a sneak peek at the last Olympian, which I guess we can talk about the sneak peek at the last Olympian too.
Well, I would say,
I mean, it's a good chunk of pages. It's like
it's a good chunk of pages, but also just like save our thoughts.
We'll get there when we get there. So, we of course we also have the letter from Camp Half-Blood, which I thought was entertaining. So, what be first?
So the first would be talking about Percy Jackson and the Stolen Chariot.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the letter first.
Well, yeah, we can talk about that. But I know that I don't really have much thoughts, except it's like just a nice little introduction.
I thought that the letter was really funny because it's just Rick actually like genuinely makes his characters come to life, and I fucking love it. And also I enjoyed this. I don't know if your copy has this, but
yeah,
the order of its
little things.
It's the shoe. It's the winged shoes from book 1. The lightning from book 2. Or lightning. And then Annabeth's Yankees cap, the Minotaur horn, and I believe that's supposed to be Riptide.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
Percy Jackson and the Stolen Chariot. Oh, I need to grab my other set of notes because
one thing I will say about the letter to the letter thing is just of how it ends, just with like Rick Riordan, senior scribe at Camp Half-Blood. I love that. I'm just like immersing, like Rick Riordan immersing himself in Camp Half-Blood as if he's like a senior scribe there.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. And he does that with the Kane Chronicles series as well, except he's like, this is like a transcribed like piece from like an old like video or like voice recording, which I think is pretty funny. But yeah,
that will be interesting to see.
Percy Jackson and the Stolen Chariot. So what's the thing, the list that we always use?
It is just kind of the explanation.
Okay. Do you want me to explain this one, or do you want to explain
You can explain it. You always explain them better.
Okay. So Percy Jackson and the Stolen Chariot is the first novella in this series of for the whole Percy Jackson series. This is the first novella that is read. And in this story, we see Clarice and Percy have to team up when some of Clarice's older brothers steal Hades' chariot. Ares, I'm so sorry. Ares' chariot, which was entrusted to Clarice, and if she doesn't get it back by a certain time, then her dad's gonna,
be mad.
Be fucking pissed. So just, it's like a little mini novella, which actually kind of makes sense because in the 4th book of the series, we see that Percy starts to, actually we see it all the way back in book 2 when Percy starts to understand why Clarice is the way she is, and how much like eventually he starts to almost like, well, he starts to respect her as a fighter, even though, yeah, she is a massive bully, but like she's also like very much a child, because how old is Clarice?
I have no idea, but I will say I really like this because it kind of build
So about
onto
in
friendship.
this book, she's I think she's like either just about to turn 17 or just turned 17.
Yeah, that
Because I think
sounds.
she's a year older than Percy. But
Yes, I think.
something like that. But anyways,
Yeah. So overall thoughts. I really enjoyed it because of seeing like Clarice and Percy's like their friendship start to form. Like this is kind of when they first work together, and even though they kind of like Clarice kind of hates that Percy's working with her to help her, she ends up being like, well, I'm happy that you helped me, but don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I think it's less that like they're friends, but they more have like a mutual like respect and understanding that the other person is going through a lot of shit, and them fighting doesn't really solve any problems. So they kind of like come to a mutual truce almost, to kind of be like, okay, like this is the moment where we're gonna stop being at each other's throats, like physically, of course, because they fight a lot, and instead try and at least cooperate for the sake of camp, because that is something that both Percy and Clarice have in common, is they just want to protect Camp Half-Blood. So that's kind of like their main goal.
Yeah, the one thing that when I was reading it that stood out is when Percy gets like paralyzed in the fear, and it's him seeing the prophecy with Camp Half-Blood being
Yes.
in flames, in like turning into ruins basically.
Yeah.
And that like reading that, I was just kind of like, I couldn't imagine that kind of like that fear on him, like just
yeah.
Even though it's not real, it's still like it feels real to him.
Which I think is interesting because his greatest fear ends up changing later on. So instead, like once Camp Half-Blood is saved, like his greatest fear changes, which you see again in like one of the Heroes of Olympus books. I think it's House of Hades when he does the scary
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoyed it. And definitely, like, just in general, I definitely feel like, in a way, Rick Riordan's bonus books are necessary to understand certain parts of the series, because after reading one of these stories, I was like, oh, that's how that character came into existence. I did not know that before. So, yeah. What is...
I would say there's really only two characters to really talk about in this short story, and we've kind of already talked about it.
Yeah.
I feel like with this, it's like, since it's our first time doing a bonus content, we're gonna have to try to figure out. I feel like almost each bonus content book is gonna veer off a little bit off path with our normal talking points.
Yeah. So after
this
characters, what's next?
And then kind of, there's not that many scenes, locations, monsters. So do we just want to move on to the next short story?
Actually, I think I have a few notes for the short story.
I was gonna say, or do you have any random thoughts?
I have notes, of course. So on page 11, I said, one of Phobos? Yeah, Phobos. He's like, oh, like what are you scared of? Like, you can't like take us. And Percy's like, I've already fought your dad. And I was like, yeah, I was like, dude, he fought your dad when he was 12 years old and won. So I don't think fighting this guy is a good idea, but okay. And then I put Percy is a good guy. He hates Clarice, but doesn't like her bullies, which I think is true. Well, I think he doesn't hate her as much now, but like I think that the reason he like kind of jumps in is because he despises bullies. He pulls like a whole Captain America where he's like, I don't like bullies, I don't care where they're from kind of thing. So yeah, there's that one.
So that's all your notes?
Yes, for the first one.
Okay. So then we will just move on to Percy Jackson and the Bronze Dragon, which this is where we might have a little bit of
we can still talk about it. We just can't talk about what happens after this book because for all people know, the Bronze Dragon never returns again. Mm-hmm. So I guess general explanation is during a game of Capture the Flag, I believe it's Charles Beckendorf has and Percy are teamed up, and it's Annabeth and Selena.
That's how I pronounce it. Selena
are teamed up, right? And so Percy and Beckendorf, whose first name is Charles, but I'm just going to call him Beckendorf because
that's what it literally
was. But he's kind of like he's obviously playing Capture the Flag, and then I believe he finds a piece of, or actually he finds the bronze dragon skull being dragged away by these giant ant creatures that I can't remember the names of off the top of my fucking head. Which the not gonna lie, those things kind of creep me the fuck out. Yes, and so eventually, Charles gets taken into the giant anthill, and they find the rest of the bronze dragon, and kind of like have to like both befriend the bronze dragon, but also like fight the bronze dragon in a way, because they're
they like
nobody knows how to control this thing, so it's like it could either like us and decide not to kill us, or it could decide it wants to team up with the giant ants and decide to breathe fire on us and we die violently. But also the ending of the Percy Jackson and the Bronze Dragon, I'm sorry, but Annabeth and Selena still just taking the boys to jail makes me crack up, because I'm like, they're like, yeah,
it's perfect.
You maybe like almost died, but like also we want to win the game, so fuck you.
Literally.
And also the fact that Annie here is made the first move with the fireworks.
It's just like so cute, especially.
And also it makes total fucking sense that Percy would not have the guts to be like, hey, fireworks, you want to go? Because Charles was like going up to Selena and he was like, yo, we're going to the fireworks. And she's like, okay. But like Percy's like, I'm way too fucking scared of Annabeth to do anything like that. And also Percy's just complete denial that Annabeth likes her, that he like likes him, and then his complete denial that he likes Annabeth in any way, shape, or form. And Charles just stares at him and is like, dude. It's just like, dude. Get your fucking head out of here. Just man up and ask her to the fireworks. It's like, it's not that fucking hard, dude.
The worst thing is you get rejected, but also we know that that Annabeth never would have rejected Percy if he would have asked. But of course, him being teenage boy is just like, but if I ask her and she says no, I'm gonna feel fucking awful, and then I also
And then
have
you're
to
gonna have
see
to
her
worry
every
about,
single day at camp.
yeah, I'd be like, ah, shit, I just fucked up our friendship too.
Yeah.
And then another note that I had for that is just kind of a reminder. Not really a reminder, but not a lot of people know this, but Aphrodite is also considered a war goddess, which I think is interesting because while, yes, she is the goddess of love and beauty, she is also, let me see.
Yeah, which that's something interesting that I'm really gonna mention, like the back of like the 12, like the to do with the gods is like that's something that's not mentioned. So that's something that at least at this point Rick doesn't even acknowledge that really.
Yeah. So Aphrodite was in fact widely worshipped as a goddess of the sea because she came out of sea foam. And of seafaring. She was also honored as a goddess of war, especially in Sparta, Thebes, and Cyprus. But she is mostly known for being the goddess of love and fertility and beauty and stuff. But she is also kind of a war goddess, and it's badass.
Yep, and you definitely can see that with. How do we literally pronounce? Try to. We agree that we
I'm
were
just gonna call her
pronouncing
Selena
Selena.
because Selena's just like,
Selena.
she's like, I can beat the fuck out of you and still look great doing it.
Yes.
So
and she like proves that kind of in
like,
this of how like
test me, bitches.
Yeah, she's the type of person if she starts fighting you, just let her. You're not gonna win either way.
So I think the next thing is the interview with Connor and Travis, which
just the interviews, those are fun.
I fucking love the Stoll brothers because here's the thing. It was widely like just assumed by the fandom, especially back when like I was younger, like when the fandom was, I think it was like around the same time that when I joined the fandom, the Heroes of Olympus books were in the middle of coming out. Like the only books out were the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Kane Chronicles, and then the first two Heroes of Olympus books. Yeah, I'm old, and I'm an elder in the fandom basically because I'm old as fuck. But it was widely like just assumed and kind of just accepted that Connor and Travis were twins, and it has taken me almost a decade to realize that they're fucking not. And it kind of just like throws everything out of proportion. Like in my brain, I'm like,
but that also just shows of like the way that throughout the book so far they've interacted is they have that kind of like such like they're so close as brothers that people assume they're twins because of a lot of people assume like if people are twins they're gonna act one way versus just regular siblings when in fact those dynamics can be opposite.
So also just some of the questions that are asked are really hilarious to me. But also like their answers to who would you most want on your team for Capture the Flag? And they both say each other because I don't trust him. And I was like, yeah, that is a very sibling answer. It's either you, if you're on different teams, you fight each other to basically the death, or you're on the same side and create all kinds of chaos for everybody else. And as somebody that has 3 siblings, yeah, I've definitely been on the side, both sides of that actually, because it's just like, yeah. So for sure. I think next
I don't really have any thoughts on that besides of just like I do like the question of like what's the best part of being in the Hermes cabin and it's just like the final thing of like Connor going, or pickpocket, one big happy family. I'm just like, siblings stealing from each other.
Also, Clarice. She's a fucking icon. I love her. And I'm so excited for, I forgot her name, but the girl who's playing Clarice in the TV show. I'm excited to see it because it's going to be great. And then,
definitely.
I love how in the first, and like her first question, it's like an entire paragraph about how much she wants to beat up Michael Yu. And she's just like, freaking hate that guy. It's just like, she doesn't explain why. He just thinks it's like, and she's just like, well, they're fucking cowards, okay? They use bow and arrows, and I'm up all in the fight, so they got nothing on me, and I just think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, and then, did you ever get revenge on Percy for soaking you with toilet water? And she's like, is Percy talking shit again? Is Percy Jackson talking shit again? Because I will bash his face in. Like,
the answer is he probably is talking shit somehow.
Oh, of course he's talking shit. He's Percy. But also, I'm excited to see how they do that in the TV show. Because it wasn't in the movie, but if it's not in the TV show, I think I'll probably just cry.
We will just end up somehow at Disney's office just being like, excuse me?
You fucking did that. But also, Annabeth's interview.
My favorite of them all.
I love it because all of her answers, like, the answers really reflect the characters. Like, Annabeth's answers are super detailed and, like she takes the time to, like, think about her answers. But whenever she mentions Percy,
it's adorable.
It's just, and I just put, like, Annie Sims for Percy part 10,000. Because, of all your Camp Half-Blood friends, who would you most like to have with you in battle? And she goes, oh, Percy, no contest. I mean, sure, he can be annoying, but he's dependable, he's brave, and he's a good fighter. Normally, as long as I'm telling him what to do, he wins in a fight. And then the next answer
is the cutest thing in this book.
12-year-old heart is fucking screaming because it's like, you've been known to call Percy seaweed brain from time to time. What is his most annoying quality? And then Annabeth goes, well, I don't call him that because he's so bright, do I? I mean, he's not dumb, which is something that people forget. People assume that Percy is stupid, and he's not. He just has ADHD and dyslexia, and so the way his brain processes information is, like, weird, and every ADHD person's brain is different.
And so people view him as dumb when he's
like, I'm smart about certain things, but other things I am confused as fuck. And I'm like, yeah. Honestly, Rick, in Chalice, I don't know why he would be watching this, but Rick, if
nobody's watching
this, let Percy say fuck in Chalice of the Gods. I'm sorry, but that man has earned at least one F-bomb.
I mean, and that one will be new adult. Not new adult, young adult. So, like, it'll be young adult, so it's like, come on, in young adult book,
just
characters can say fuck.
Just give us one fuck from Percy or Grover. That would be hilarious. Especially if Grover, we just like, accidentally kicks something and it, like, isn't supposed to hurt and he just goes, fuck.
I do that all the time.
Because, like, yeah, it's just funny to me. And then, anyways, I mean, he's not dumb. He's actually pretty intelligent, but he acts so dumb sometimes. I wonder if he does it just to annoy me. No, he's just oblivious as fuck. The guy has a lot going on for him. He's courageous. He's got a sense of humor, and he's good looking. But don't you dare tell him I said that. Where was I? Oh yeah, he's got a lot going for him, but he's so obtuse. That's the word. I mean, he doesn't really see really obvious stuff, like the way people feel. Even when you're giving him hits, it's totally blatant. What? No, I'm not talking about anyone or anything in particular. I'm just making a general statement. Why does everyone always think, forget it? No, just like, ma'am. And then we have Grover. Grover's interview. I love him. I love Grover so fucking much. My only note for the Grover that I have written down is what the fuck is a muskrat? And I figured it would be interesting for me to learn what a muskrat is on the live show. Whoa, what is a muskrat?
I know what a muskrat is.
What the fuck? It's a semi-aquatic rodent. It's a fucking rodent.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Why are you a rodent?
Because it is.
Is the muskrat a rat? It's like a tiny beaver that fucked a rat.
Yeah.
Like a beaver and a rat had sex, and then this fucking thing was born. Because it's like weird. Are they? Well, at least they're not an endangered species.
That's good. I have one thought about like Grover's interview, and it's what made me laugh. It's like the question of, in your opinion, what's the most beautiful spot in nature in all of America? It's amazing there are any nice spots left, which that we can tie back to our entire conversation we had with the Battle of the Labyrinth, your 45-minute side rant. But I like Lake Placid in upstate New York. Very beautiful, especially on a winter day. And the dryads up there. Wow. Oh, wait, can you edit that part up? Juniper would kill me. I burst out laughing at that.
Yes. Also, just in case anybody was curious like me, it is in fact illegal to own a muskrat. So
of course you were Googling that.
Muskrat. I'm just like, what the fuck is a muskrat? And then Percy's interview is obviously hilarious. It's adorable too. Let's see. And I like that he his scariest moment is still like when he lost his mom. Because I'm just like, yeah, that is pretty fucking traumatizing, my guy. And it's like, he's not like, oh, I don't have a scariest moment anymore. Because it's just like, it one shows the fact that Percy is mature, and two, it shows the fact that he had to grow up way too fucking fast. So, yeah. Yeah. And then obviously we have the map of Camp Half-Blood. Don't know if y'all got a chance to see this. It looked pretty dope, and not at all how I picture.
Yeah, I was like flipping through, and I was just like looking, and I'm like,
it looks wrong.
Well, I randomly, when I got we're jumping to a different book of like with the ultimate guide. There's I think there's a map in this, and I think I randomly flipped through it, and I saw it, and I think it looked a little different. It could just be like the art style's more detailed.
I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where the fuck is Zeus's fist? That is usually.
It's not on this map.
But it's like an integral part to the story.
Yeah, like that's one thing that I think.
Uncle Rick, what the fuck?
It just was forgotten about, apparently.
Anyways, and then of course we have what Annabeth packs in her things in her trunk, and it's awesome. And also her teddy bear in the corner right there is a fucking mood, because I too would bring a.
Yeah, especially the don't tell anyone.
I would definitely bring this guy to Camp Half-Blood. Are you kidding me? He's yeah, you're a little beat up.
He would be the first thing you'd pack.
Pretty much, yeah. And then we've got Percy Jackson and the Sword of Hades.
Okay, I will straight up just say this one's my favorite. Not only because of, like, I think you know what reason I'm possibly referring to. Of the
Bob,
yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
Bob.
I love Nico, so of course I'm gonna love this one because it has him in it.
I love how Bob, when he comes out from, like,
okay, first explain what this was.
Okay. So Percy Jackson and the Sword of Hades follows Percy, Nico, and Talia, the the kids of the big three, at least in modern times, and they are sent on a quest by Persephone, who this is the first time we see Persephone in the series, and she tells them, like, oh, Hades has lost his sword, like, the underworld's on lockdown, and, you know, we can't, like, another god can't, like, take it, so it must have been somebody else, but, like, we can't get involved for ancient rules. And so then Percy, Talia, and Nico have to, like, go on this quest to find this sword, and the emotions in this book, novella shit, they hurted my feelings because we see Talia's mom for the first time, and I'm like,
I totally forgot that we saw her mom. So when she showed up, I was like, oh fuck. Just.
And then her reaction to having to push the stone of what the fuck? I should have known his name.
To be fair, I forget everything, and I read this book yesterday, so I'm like, I forget names faster than anything, so I'm no help.
Oh, Sisyphus. That's his name. His punishment was pushing a giant rock up a hill. Is pushing a giant rock up a hill. Because I believe Sisyphus is the one that fed his kids to the gods.
Again, I should remember I read this last night, but no, apparently everything just went out of my head as soon as we started this live. Oh my gosh. Let's explain.
Let's see. What I wish we had gotten, like, a little novella of is Percy telling Paul about the demigods and stuff, because I want to see Paul's reaction. I want to see him go, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, him just being like, can you, what? Can you say that again?
He's like, you can
I hear you, what? But then also I could see it being like, what now? But then also like 2 seconds later going,
you know about the next book, you know I am excited to see Paul again. I love that man so fucking much. It's not even, like, remotely funny. Because I'm just like, yeah. So also Percy, like, yeah. Has to, like, it's great.
And again, just Bob being
Bob. Bob being Bob.
Yeah.
So did you end up doing any of the
crossword?
Also, by the way, I want to just point out that this is the old official art for the Percy Jackson series. And it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad enough that Rick doesn't even like it.
I just kind of skipped over it. One thing also, I'm wondering, is this just my copy, or are the arts literally just in the middle of...
No, they're in the middle of a story, which is really annoying.
Okay, I was like, is it my copy, or is it just annoying as fuck?
Yes.
Because I was literally like flipping. I was like, oh, like how many more pages is this? Oh, that.
I
oh,
did
that's
play the games, and I would just like to point out that I'm actually very good at them. So.
Yeah, I borrowed this copy from my library because unfortunately no money to buy it for myself, and it was already done. Like,
yeah,
somebody already wrote in it.
Pan in a different place. Hold on, where did they put Pan? Was Pan not on the list? Did I just make that up?
For what?
Oh no, he's in the corner, and I got him. Okay, well, there was two places to find him. But anyways, yeah. So, what's next on the list?
Well, pretty much that is the end of most of the.
So I guess
besides just the the 12 Olympian gods plus 2, which there's not much to talk about. It's just like /goddess, their sphere of control, and their animal /symbol. So nothing really to talk about there.
Yeah, so I'll just go ahead and read my full review that I have for this book. I'll skip over all the spoiler parts. I have always loved seeing a little bit more into the world of Percy Jackson. I really enjoyed the stories that were shared in this, and I really liked how Rick tied in some characters that we see later in the series or in his other series like Bob. I don't feel like the profiles of the gods or the mini games or most of the interviews with campers added much to the story. I think instead of seeing short interviews from multiple characters, I would have loved longer interviews for Percy, Annabeth, and Grover. I would have loved to get to know the OG3 at this point in the series since we see them for just a season in the novels. And then I was like, I look forward to the rest of the Bones books, which is true because I freaking love them.
Any other? I guess we'll just go to any other random thoughts.
No, I think I covered those in my whatchamacallit, in the other aspects of the life. So
yeah, I don't think, like, not that I didn't like this, but for me it was just like a 3-star. Like, it wasn't amazing, it wasn't bad, it was just run of the mill. So that's why I'm like, I don't really have that many thoughts beyond what I said. One thing I also just realized is this library book literally still has that type of thing in it.
Which one?
Of like the old style.
Man, that takes me back.
Like, I just realized that. I'm like.
Also, in case anybody is curious, the Riordanalong will probably never fucking end. Just because A, we don't know how to stop making plans, and B, Rick
we need to stop making plans.
I'm still publishing books in this universe, by the way, and it's like,
yes. The only other thing that we said we were going to do is we normally do the ranking of just like the books at the end of the lives, but we decided that we're going to split up the like core books and then the bonus books.
Yeah.
Just so that at the end of like, by the time we're in like the Trials of Apollo series, we're not listing off like 30 books for rankings.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already going to be close to that, but
yep. So
it'll just be a little easier. So obviously, since this is our only book so far, it's obviously both of our top because there's no other contender.
The only bonus book that will be a reread for me will be Percy Jackson's Greek Gods and The Ultimate Guide. I haven't read any of the other bonus books, so I'm excited.
That actually leads us into kind of the final section, which is the announcement / what we're reading next month. Let's just quickly go over what we're reading this month, and then
November's books for the Riordanalong are scrolling are. Did I give you access to edit this? Are you anonymous, Quagga? What the fuck is a Quagga?
Yes, I'm in it just so that I could confirm.
So for November, we are reading The Last Olympian, The Ultimate Guide, and Percy Jackson's Greek Heroes. I believe we will be doing The Ultimate Guide and Greek Heroes in the same live show.
Yes, mainly because, yes, the Percy Jackson's Greek Gods is kind of long and does contain quite a bit of content. I feel like it will be not a lot of like actual things that are relevant to not that they're not actually going to be relevant, but it's going to be more of quickly going through it. And then the Ultimate Guide is a lot of it is just like
there are going to be
random information about.
There are going to be a couple of bonus books that I don't mark up, and I think Greek Gods and Greek Heroes are going to be a couple of them because unless I can find like the trade paperback versions of those for pretty cheap, which I might actually do, so that I can mark them up.
And for live show dates, tentatively, these are again tentatively, is The Last Olympian. It will probably be the 10th of December.
Okay.
Possibly.
We will need to discuss that after the live, because
I know, but we also have a bunch of other shit happening, and
I know. I'm just like trying to think of a time where I won't be what I will be. So
that it will all be.
I don't know how I will be feeling that day until that day happens. So
so there will be all the announcements will be on the Discord and the Twitter.
If Twitter survives.
I mean, I literally tweeted the other day on the account being like, if Twitter goes down, reminder, we have a Discord.
Yes, we do.
Which they're not in the description of this. Remember what I put? Did I put anything in the description of this live? I don't remember. And then in December, we will be reading Daughter of the Deep, which that live show would then be beginning of January.
Yes, and we will do the bonus books for December, like 1 week after we do the live for The Last Olympian.
Which we need to figure out those dates. But do not worry, there won't be any live shows around like Christmas Eve. Like, don't worry about that.
Yeah. But anyways,
your announcements now.
We are on to
all of your shit.
So I kind of did this in the last live show. I talked about some of the news that had been coming out about the Percy Jackson TV show and Rick Riordan presents, the various cast members, all that shit. So we're going to not quickly. Some of it will be quick. Other things probably won't be as quick.
We'll just go through the list and see how long.
Going through the list and talking about some news related to anything. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the casting for Hermes, played by Lin-Manuel Miranda. Did not see that coming.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, I was in a grocery store parking lot when that announcement happened, and just cue me freaking out.
I have mixed feelings about it, because while I enjoy Rick Riordan or Lin-Manuel Miranda, I'm also like, but also like Nathan Fillion was a great Hermes, so I'm a little bit salty, but it's just a personal thing.
But also, we trust Rick. We know that he would not pick somebody for a role that he didn't believe could play that character.
Yeah, so I'm intrigued to see how this goes. And then some of this might be older news and news that you guys have already known, like especially if you guys are like on Twitter or Instagram or stuff like that. So some of this might be repeats, some of this might be new. So next we have the casting for Ares, which is Adam Copeland. So fun fact about Adam, he's a Canadian wrestler, WWE wrestler, and he's also an actor, which I think is great.
I honestly think I remember, like, because my dad watches like the WWE. I'm pretty sure like I've seen some of those.
I love the WWE.
Like watching with my dad in the past, and because like,
oh wait, what? Dude broke his neck. Oh, in 2002. Okay, anyways. Oh. So, yeah, so Canadian professional wrestler. He has done a couple of other different things. I believe he's in Vikings. It does not look like he does WWE anymore. It just doesn't look like he does that anymore.
That was more
is known for Vikings, Haven, The Flash as well. And obviously his WWE stuff. But I'm intrigued to see how he takes on the role of Ares, and I think getting a former WWE star was a brilliant idea for Ares because it makes so much sense in my mind. But I'm glad that they went for a lesser known WWE wrestler because like the other more popular ones are probably more expensive to like get. And then two, I don't think that like I don't know if there's any other gods that I feel like could be played by a WWE wrestler except for Hephaestus, but we will be talking about that a little bit later. Yeah, because most wrestlers are like the big beefy guys. So, and a lot of the gods are described as more like lean and just like not like 200 pounds each, which is great.
Also, hi Nikki.
Hi. So we're actually done talking about the books, so you don't have to worry about any spoilers. We're just talking about news related to all things Rick Riordan at the moment.
Yeah. So like, just I guess stick around and hear
about
everything.
The testing. So that was Ares. I'm excited to see how that goes because just because like I am intrigued by how he's going to do that. So because we don't have anything to base Ares on. So Jesus, are all of these actors Canadian? Okay. Anyways, so next we have Jessica Parker Kennedy, who has been cast as Medusa, which I'm so excited for. She is also a Canadian born in Calgary, Alberta. She was in.
I know she was in The Flash.
She was in The Flash. She was in Black Sails. She was also in Santa Baby. Also she is a POC actress, which makes sense. Oh, they spelled that the same way my best friend's name is spelled. Oh, anyways. She's in 90210. The Secret Circle. trying to think if there's anything else that stands out. But she's also in Santa Baby.
I think you already mentioned that.
I think I did, but I apologize if I have. But I'm excited about that because she is, I believe, a POC. I don't know off the top of my head if that's true or not. But yeah. So do you have any
Not really thoughts on her. I know that I really enjoyed her in The Flash for the seasons that I did watch with her in it, but excited to see. I was really excited to see her joining like the TV show because I was like, somebody that I recognize.
Yes. So, and then next we have Miss Suzanne Cryer as Echidna, which I'm also very excited about. If you don't know who she is, she was in Beavis and Butthead, Hawaii Five-0, Silicon Valley, The Fosters, Lucifer. Sorry. I've been watching Lucifer with my dad, and it's like slowly becoming one of my favorite TV shows. I apologize. Shameless, Teen Beach Movie, Dexter. She was in American Dad.
Nikki is so behind on the news apparently.
Grey's Anatomy.
Also, yes, Nikki, the Percy Jackson books are becoming a TV show with Disney Plus.
Oh, yes.
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 So, yes.
Yeah, so, she was also in Seinfeld. It looks like just one episode of Seinfeld and Law and Order. So, she's got a very, very impressive filmography collection, because it's like, it's just like, wow.
It's just a bunch of things.
Great. And then, hold on. Let me just pull it up.
It's okay, Nikki. It's more of like a thing of a bunch of people know about it, but if you're not interested in the books, you might not realize that it's being turned into a show.
Yeah.
But okay. Now you know.
And so next, this one isn't related to casting, but the show officially has a spot on Disney Plus. So when you go to the Disney Plus website or the Disney Plus app, you will have there will be a banner and a little, obviously there aren't episodes out, but it does have the trailer. So if you wanted to go watch that on Disney Plus, then you have a spot in order to do that. So that was added recently. And then
actually, I don't think I've seen this for myself, so I'm literally.
And then we have some Riordan Presents news. I figured I'd add some of that in if you guys are interested in what Rick Riordan Presents is publishing and stuff. So we actually just got a cover reveal for Fury of the Dragon Goddess, and I'm blanking on who that's by because I'm terrible.
Also, Nikki, yes, pick up the books, please.
Yes, please. So Fury of the Dragon Goddess is by Sarwat Chadha. And it is the sequel to City of the Plague God, which is another Rick Riordan Presents, and that is set to release in August of 2023. August 1st, actually. So there's that. And also, Poseidon and Zeus have been casted, but there are no announcement as to far as who's playing Zeus or Poseidon. But I'm assuming we're going to get that casting soon, especially because the filming is coming to an end soon. As the principal for photography for the season 1 finale finale has started. And if you don't know what principal photography is, principal photography is a phase of producing a film or television show in which the bulk of shooting takes place. Basically, it's just like another phase of the filming process. It's kind of like it basically, I think it's a lot of the like behind the scenes photography and then promotional photography. And then the initial cuts for the Percy Jackson, I think it's the first 2 episodes of the Percy Jackson series, have been sent off to whoever it needs to be sent off to in order for them to kind of get like any like nitpicks out of the way before it's sent off to like special effects and all the other post production stuff that is going down. Also, if you guys did not know, Rick Riordan has also been writing a Daughter of the Deep movie script, also to potentially sell to Disney Plus, which is awesome because I fucking love that book. And so if that book becomes a movie, I'm gonna be super excited. And also kind of salty that I'm not young enough to play one of the characters. But maybe, plus they wouldn't film in my area anyways. But still, it's still a dream, And also, this is going back to Rick Riordan's writing, of course. Revisions for Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods are underway. So, because we're getting that late next year, the revisions have started, which will then be sent off to the editor, and they'll be sent back, and then it'll just be like back and forth between them until like the publisher is like ready to be like, yes, I will sign off, so we can put this out into the world. So I'm very, 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 very excited about that because, yeah.
I also have something that I don't think you knew about, but there have been the first, like, kind of like teaser things for The Sun and the Star that have
that on my list.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you added that. So
yes. So next, we also have gotten word that in May of 2023, Rick Riordan and the other author for the Sun and the Star that I don't remember off the top of my head.
Mark Oshiro.
And Mark Oshiro, they will be going on a book tour. I don't know how, they haven't announced what cities they're going to, if it's going to be like a world tour or what's going to be happening with that. I'm assuming it's not going to be a world tour just because of how close the Percy Jackson film or TV show will be done to being like how close it's going to be done, because they are working on it like pretty hard, and they're also working pretty quickly. So I think it depends on.
Well, keep in mind that the Disney Plus slot, space and time, is in 2024. Because when you go to the Disney Plus website, go to the thing, it does say 2024.
But again, months before the actual show is released, they're gonna have to do different press tours. They're gonna have to do a lot of promo stuff that Rick is probably gonna need to be a part of. So that's probably gonna impact the book tour schedule. So it might just be maybe there's just days with Mark Oshiro. I'm so sorry. I'm so out of it today. So we will definitely keep you guys updated on that. And then next we have Winston Chu versus the Whimsies, which is another sequel in a series that is published by Rick Riordan Presents. I don't remember the author off the top of my head, but that has a release date announced for February 27th of 2023. So if that's something you guys are interested in, now you have the release date. And also, The Last Dream, another Rick Riordan Presents book, was also released, I believe, a couple of days ago. So if you are super into reading the Rick Riordan Presents, like I want to get into, then it will be available for purchase as of now. And then this is more specifically about the cast. So Leah has announced that she is going to be in a new movie called Something at Tiffany's, which is a Christmas like holiday movie, you know, Hallmark style, like two guys like mix up their jewelry for like their girlfriends and like have to like figure out like, oh gosh, what am I supposed to do in this situation? It is also starring Zoe Deutsch, I think. I could be wrong. But that movie is set to release on Amazon Prime on the 9th of December. So I'm going to be watching that movie because I'm a sucker for cheesy Hallmark movies.
Yeah, I'm now looking it up because I'm like, I knew about it, but I wasn't like.
Also, like, yes, obviously I want to support Leah, but like also the movie just looks really entertaining. And I'm excited about that because again, I'm a sucker for Hallmark movies.
Yeah.
So that's happening. And then of course, it was also announced that they only have 10 weeks left of filming.
Which is insane.
Might seem like a lot, but really that's only about 2.5 months.
I think there has been said that by the end of January, filming will be done.
Filming will be done within the next 10 weeks, which is about 2.5 months from now. So yeah, that puts us about at the end of January, beginning of February, depending on if there are any delays. But that means that things are coming pretty quick. So I'm excited. And then, of course, we have a few new casting announcements. We have Timothy Amundsen as Hephaestus, which I love because this actor is actually disabled. If you did not know, he had a stroke, I believe, in 2017, where he unfortunately became, I believe, paralyzed. And he had to like relearn how to walk and stuff, and so he uses a cane as a walking aid. And so I'm super excited to see that because if you don't know who he is, I'm going to tell you because super hyped. He was in, all right, let's see. He was in things that, let's just say that I care about. He was in Castlevania, which is an anime. He was also in Lucifer. That's what I saw him in most recently. Yes. He was in Gallivant. He's in Robot Chicken. He's in Supernatural. He plays Kane in Supernatural. So yeah, if you've seen Supernatural, then you'll recognize him.
That's where I recognize him from when he was announced.
He was like, also in Warehouse 13. Not many people know that exists, but I know that it exists, and that's important to me. He was also in, I believe, he was in a couple of episodes of Criminal Minds. So again, like most of the adult actors in this cast, he has a very extensive filmography going all the way back to about 1992 when he was on an episode of Seinfeld. I believe he's probably done other projects of course, but he's still like he's been in quite a lot during his acting career, and I love him as an actor. He's great, and I think having him as Hephaestus is going to be great, especially because like he's actually disabled, and so is Hephaestus. Hephaestus is disabled because I mean he got thrown off the side of a mountain, but not the point. And then next we have Jay Duplass as Hades, which I'm super excited about. If you don't know what he's been in, which he's a new actor to me. I don't think I've seen anything that he's in. He is going to be, he's in, let's see. He's an executive producer for there we go. Sorry. He's in, let's see, he's in The Chair, which is also with Sandra Oh, I believe, from Grey's Anatomy. Transparent, The Mindy Project. Yeah. So he was also in Paper Towns, the movie based off the book by John Green. So he again has a smaller filmography, but he's been in a lot of TV shows and he has produced a lot of stuff in his career. He's produced at least 57 different things, which is an insane.
Yeah, and he also was a director for a few different things as well.
Oh yes, what did he direct? I'm curious. He directed let's see. Baghead, Cyrus, Togetherness, Search Party, like a couple episodes of those, and Somebody Somewhere, a couple episodes of that as well. So that's pretty fucking cool in my opinion, because yeah, I'm excited about that. And also, the Sun and the Star chapter teasers have been released. I believe that there was only a limited amount of them, and I don't believe that they're available for public viewing as of now. But
yeah, they were given out at a certain event.
I'm sure that there are some people out there who probably have already posted the chapters, but I don't know who those people would be, and I'm not up to that point in the series, and so I won't be reading the chapters ahead of time, because I don't want spoilers. But it's still exciting for those of you who are caught up with the series to maybe go on a hunt for those. And then finally,
I would sell a kidney for that right now, please, and thank you.
This one's also just kind of like a dumb personal announcement. If you care at all, I have written a really, 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 really crappy Percy Jackson fanfiction. It was meant to be a comedy piece, and then at the end it got like really fucking sad for some reason. So if you want to read it, the link is on my Twitter. So if you follow me on Twitter, you will have access to that. And if you give enough of a crap, I do have other fan fictions, but the other fan fictions that I have published are all Criminal Minds. So I don't know if anybody cares about that, but I that is a thing that I did do, and I wrote that, and I mean, Hope read it, or
more like I listened to it because you just read it all out to me.
Yeah, but then I added stuff after you had hopped off because I'm a massive perfectionist, and I forgot to put the word count. Did I put the word count in there? Hold on. I didn't do that. I need to do that.
I think you did. But also, Nikki asks, "How's your sister, Morgan?"
She's doing okay. Best she can, of course. But I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking at my stats now, and nobody seems to care about my Percy Jackson fanfiction, which I'm totally fine with. I just keep like getting notes on. Yeah. Also, be aware of my Tumblr because I am absolutely unhinged on Tumblr. I've had Tumblr since I was maybe like 13. So it's almost a decade of me having Tumblr. So there are some questionable things on my Tumblr. So I don't recommend it if you're under the age of like 18 because there's some weird shit. Yes. Oh yeah. Okay. So the word count is about 1,300 words, specifically 100 1306. And it's a good amount of pages. It is longer than some essays I've had to write. It was like 2.5 pages. So yeah, if you are interested in anything that I've written, yes, it's great. I have fun writing it. So that was my little moment of self promo. If you wanted to read my Percy Jackson fan fiction, it is about a demigod named Dave who has a peanut allergy. So
yeah, and that stemmed from one of our giant conversations in the
live show. You know where Dave came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I told the part of the story of Dave's life. And like I said, it got very depressing at the end.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah, it wasn't just like I was intending on making it just a comedy piece, but then then it got away from me.
Yeah, so definitely go check that out.
Yeah, and also
so I'm not the only one that had
absolutely none of my fan fiction is like anywhere close to canon. It is literally just shit that I pull out of my ass.
Yeah.
So yeah, just be aware if you so choose. Did you need the link to my Tumblr? Okay,
I can find it.
Okay, but yeah, that is all of the fucking news that we have.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I want to add that we didn't talk about before was that after this, we're going to be kind of finalizing the first half of next year for the books that we're reading, and those announcements should be going up in like sometime in December.
Yes, I will probably make my announcement video once we finish up with the okay. If you heard that was my dad.
I could hear it.
We're dog sitting, and he gets a little weird around the dogs because I don't know why, but he just does. But anyways. Okay. Anyway, I think that's all that I have. And I'll have my announcement videos up after we finish all of the stuff relating to the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. So that'll contain December through June.
I know I'm doing January through June, but
yeah, well,
those will be up at some point next month, and then also on the Twitter and Discord, all that will be announced there as well.
Yes, but obviously at the end of each live show, we will still remind you guys of what we're still reading. So
of what the current month's reading, the next month, all of that.
And for November, which is almost over, we are still reading Last Olympian, the Ultimate Guide, and the Percy Jackson's
which is
Guide to Greek
definitely
Heroes.
A decent amount of stuff when you look at it this way. But also,
and I do want to specify we are doing Greek heroes first. I know that it was published after Greek gods, but based on the endless amount of research that I've been doing about this stupid series and this stupid timeline of how everything fits together, I don't mean the series is stupid. I just mean that the timeline is very convoluted and stupid because there's like 6 different ways to read the books. Anyways, it is recommended that you read Greek heroes first and then Greek gods. So that's if you're thinking like, oh, but you have those 2 out of order, it's on purpose. We know it's out of order. That's just how we've been told by the internet to read it so that it makes sense to everybody, especially those who have not read the series before. So, yeah. Okay. Now I'm done.
Okay, well.
Oh, and I forgot to check in. How did people do for their trash challenge? Only filling up like one garbage bag from the last live show.
Okay, I didn't do a garbage bag, but I did I have a bucket that's like the size of a plastic garbage bag.
Yeah, that's what I have too, and mine is actually
That's what I
pretty much
did, and
empty
mine.
at the moment because it just has hair in it because I cleaned out my hairbrush and I think a Q-tip. I think those are the only things in there. And obviously, I'm not like counting like any trash that I threw away like food wise like in the kitchen because that doesn't make sense to just like keep it.
Mine is literally a McDonald's cup, a bag of like cheesies, and a cookie packet.
Yes. And so
that was my snack.
We will let you off easy challenge wise, but if you're curious, or actually I'm curious, what is probably what is the first thing that you would grab when you are packing your trunk for Camp Half-Blood? So we have a challenges chat in the Discord. So I look forward to seeing all of your answers posted there. So yeah. Okay, I'm shutting up now.
You're like, now that's everything.
I don't think there's literally anything else that I need to say other than I was pranked today. I was fucking pranked today. You want to know why? Because someone on Twitter was like, they casted Logan Lerman, and I was like, wait, that doesn't sound right. And then my dumb ass fell for it. And they were like, ha ha, you fell for it. You suck. And it's like, I didn't think that was gonna happen, but also
I saw your tweet.
They said that the thing in No Way Home wasn't gonna happen, but then it did, and so yeah.
You're easily gullible.
It's not my fault that I'm autistic and can't tell people's tone of voice over text. Okay, that's not my fucking fault.
Fair. But now I think that is everything.
Yes.
But I really hope everybody enjoyed this live, whether you watched it live or are rewatching it back. If I will double check that the description has everything, like right after this, and if there is anything that I need to add, I'll add that there. But yeah, thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to Morgan for joining. Obviously, you're a co-host for this.
Yep.
But we will see everybody for the next book, which will be Heartbreak. So, yeah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.